Hello and welcome to Northwood School on the east coast of South Africa. Wherever you might be watching and listening to us, welcome. And in this digital age, you could be in Alberta, you could be in Sydney, you could be in Verulam. We don't really mind. The fact is that you're with us, and thank you very much for joining us. And you join us just in time for the first team game between Northwood and Kearsney. Now remember, the story with the Northwood boys is that you've got to have 15 caps before you get a number. So we've now got a sixth number added. There were only 5 last week, and great to see that. There's also a change. Ryan McNally has come back into the squad, and that is at the expense of Hlumelo Baku. And if you were with us last week, you'll remember that they lost 5-2 against a very impressive Hilton side. There's the Kearsney College first 11, Kate Peons in goal, and the captain is Menzi Mshlungu. And Kearsney have had a reasonable time this year, and the one time that these two sides have met in 2021 was at the Super Schools tournament, and it finished 2-2. Now Ross Heatham is alongside me, and his team, the under-16As, have just had a draw with Kearsney, so we're going to get another draw here.
Looking at both of these teams, and I've worked with a couple of these boys personally myself, I think we're in for a pretty exciting, close, competitive match. It should be good.
Yep, and I think that's probably true right the way across the board as well. So, for those of you who don't know, Kearsney are in the maroon, and Northwood are in the white with the blue trim. Northwood are captained by number 10, Brent van der Linde, and it is Kearsney who get the game underway. Nice to see that the Kearsney boys have got numbers on their shirts, and let me just put it out there for you right now. I know that there's a lot of schools out there who say it's tradition not to have numbers on the shirts, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the 21st century. We are in a post-COVID dystopia. We need numbers so that we can talk about these boys properly. Here's the first opportunity. The reverse stick has gone wide. The shot coming from Daniel de Kock.
Yeah, Daniel's a lethal striker in the circle, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on up in the attacking third for Kearsney.
Found an awful lot of space there with no defenders really around him. So Northwood knows straight away that they've got a serious threat in front of them. Just trying to put some passes together. That's beautiful stick control from van der Linde. Yeah, and he will have the free hit, takes it quickly. Now he'll head towards the circle. There's a lot of activity going on up front. Let's see whether they can get the ball into the danger area. Ethan Grace working hard. And that will be a free hit in for Northwood. Remember, in the first team games, we're playing 4 chukkers of 15 minutes each. And that will help the players on a day like today. It's going up to 33 degrees. It's already, I would say, in the mid to late 20s. Thankfully, there's just a little bit of ocean breeze, which is helping to keep people just a little bit cool. So building down the right-hand side, and here's that man de Kock who got the first shot in. Taken quickly and perhaps too quickly, and a chance to clear. So Ross, how many games have we got between these two sides at hockey today?
We've got a pretty full fixture. I know there's a couple of games at Crawford La Lucia happening too. Off the top of my head, I know at Northwood we're going to have all the A and B teams playing each other. And then at Crawford, I'm sure there's a couple of C and D teams who've also got a couple of fixtures today. So quite a big number of games happening in the Durban North vicinity.
Yeah, wonderful to see. Wonderful just to see competitive sport back after such a long hiatus. And Kearsney looking for the direct route through the middle. Campbell Duckworth is the number 10, and he will leave it now to Matthew Ford. Good run from Ford. Here's an opportunity. Oh, and very close coming from Gonse Mashaba. Probably should have done better there. He had a little bit of time to work. So Northwood under the gun in these early minutes of the first team game. Character building stuff. Going straight down the middle. That's great control there from Mitchell Jagger. And turnover ball. That's a great ball on the inside. That's another really clever ball. Menzies Mhlungu is the captain. He takes it towards the D and maybe should have hung on to possession a little longer there. He gets it back. Oh, cleverly done. And there's the shot across the face of goal. And coming up quickly there was, I think, Mashaba. He couldn't get a stick on the end of it. So lots of opportunities early on from Kearsney. I'm sure from a coaching perspective, Ross, the coach is already pulling his hair out, thinking that one or two of those should have gone in.
Yeah, I'm sure from the Kearsney perspective, they will be a little bit frustrated not to at least be testing the goalkeeper in the few chances they've had. And from the Northwood perspective, probably a little bit frustrated that Kearsney are getting as many chances as they are.
There's that man, Mashaba, chasing hard again. Northwood spending a lot of time inside their own 23. Here's Van der Linde, the captain. Such an impressive young player. Yeah, look at that. Just take and go. Gets the ball forward, and unfortunately overrunning it there was Mitchell Jagger. Here's Mashaba. I beg your pardon, that's Mhlungu, the captain. He gets it back. Now a chance out wide for Jacques Minard. Starting to open up inside. They're looking for a deflection there. It's gone wide. That'll be a long corner. Here's Mhlungu. A little bit too much heat on that pass. You'll see Mhlungu spending a lot of time in the opposition half, and Northwood battling to get out of their own half.
That's that boy McNally, who's come back from an injury recently, so good to see him back in the Northwood first team. Hopefully he can make an impact.
Yeah, looks like a well-built young man. Coming out of defence now is Bryce Wiggett. The long ball is well controlled. Mhlungu causing trouble wherever he goes and calling for a penalty corner. It's not given. Just a free hit out for Northwood. Now the aerial ball. That's a very interesting decision. This is Zippo Gele. Picked up then by Kai Hickett. Some good skills there from Minard. Gets it across the face of goal. Looking for Daniel de Kock, who couldn't quite get a stick on the end of it. Well, this is real harem-scarum stuff. This is the last movement. Such a clever ball across, isn't it? Now there is the first penalty corner. You felt it had to come. And it arrives with 7 minutes gone in the game. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like the injector is going to be Kai Hickett.
Andy, having worked with these boys before, I would not be surprised if there is a straight poke from Daniel de Kock, looking at the personnel lined up at the top of the circle.
Okay, so yeah, he's the number 8. Looking meaningfully at his injector. Oh, and they've managed to mess that one up. And Northwood come away unscathed. Now, funnily enough, last week we had the same thing with the first penalty corner of the day from Hilton. The ball never actually got out of the D.
Yeah, so it's often a problem when the turf is a little bit dry. I know the sprinklers were on, but with the amount of wind around, not much of that water ended up hitting the Astro in the vital area. So watching that back on TV, I'm sure you can see it slips under the pushers or injectors stick. Hence, it didn't manage to get to the top of the circle.
Yeah, one of those things that if you're not a hockey player, and I'm not a hockey player, it seems simple enough, but clearly it is not. So passed across the midfield there. Wiggett sending it down. Picked up there by Gele, and he was looking for a runner who wasn't there. So Northwood have been penalised there. Dangerous, says the umpire. It's always 6 of one and half a dozen of another with those aerial balls.
I think most of the time benefit of the doubt is given to the defending team in that situation, but understandably so, as they would rather blow it early and avoid danger where people are coming swinging sticks around head height.
So Kearsney looking to get the ball inside the danger area again. There's a lovely run and well defended on the edge of the D. Well, if they manage to get to the end of this quarter without conceding a goal, I think Northwood will be a very happy side. Here's Wiggett, sends it wide. Oh, and Kelly misses the trap. Gets a little reassuring pat from his captain. Do better next time. Sent across goal there by Adam Chislett. You see how difficult it is for Northwood to actually exit. They're being put under huge pressure. That's a little bit over robust. So free hit to Northwood. I must say this low sun is making it quite difficult to pick things up. That's great defense. And quickly away. Josh Cottrell on the ball. Lovely play from Kelly. He gets the pass away to Josh Lee. Lee, the number 14, looking for a support runner. Yeah, it goes the other way with Kelly. Trying to show some aerial skills there, but Northwood clear again. So lots of pressure coming from Kearsney, but no real signs of panic from Northwood in defence.
No, I think eventually, if this is to continue as is, Northwood will be very lucky to get away unscathed. So
that long ball, can he keep it in? Oh, so close. Who was that making the long run there?
That was Braden Berkset.
Okay. Got himself into a really good position there from that long pass and couldn't quite manage to locate the ball on the end of the stick.
Definitely a threat for Northwood would be to catch Kearsney on the counter, considering territory-wise they're playing high in the field and would be susceptible to a quick break from Northwood and some of their skillful strikers.
So Northwood playing inside their own quarter. If you tuned in late, the second team game was our first match of the day, and it finished in a 1-1 draw. And you feel that generally Kearsney and Northwood are very well matched, probably right the way across however many games they are playing, maybe as many as 14. Rugby being played today as well, Ross?
There is rugby. I'm sure we'll hear a couple of cheers coming from the top fields at some point.
Good luck to the forwards on a day like today.
Sure, the high ball will be a bit of a tester for both teams.
Picked up by Chislett. That's a great ball in. Couldn't quite manage to pull the trigger. Gets another opportunity. It's brushed away, and that's a save. That's an absolutely crucial save from Cade Pearns there, because that was on target. And now trouble down the other end. Great defence. That's really good play. Who's that?
That was James Hooper at the back.
James Hooper. Now this is the other end. So there's the shot. Now watch the second shot. There. I'm not sure the keeper knew too much about it, but he was well positioned. Oh, and Funderlinde.
Sometimes that's all a keeper needs to do, is put himself in the right area to block as much of the goal as he can.
Yeah, I've done a lot of hockey commentary with Greg Clark, and he keeps preaching, put yourself in the right position. Wherever you are on the field, put yourself in the right position, things will happen. Now Kearsney coming forward. That's a great ball to Mhlungu. He's got a bit of space here. He's got a runner out wide in Kelly, and he is dispossessed, and that's, again, really good defense. So the Northwood defense is under pressure, but they are stepping up to the task. Here's van der Linde on the ball. Turned over in midfield, and here's an opportunity, but it's gone begging. Josh Cottrell falls down in a heap, but it's Northwood ball. Now, can they make something happen here? Just giving away possession, that's not good. Now the ball coming out wide to Mashaba. That's a great early ball from Mashaba into the path of Matthew Ford. He gets it further into the D. Mashaba is dispossessed, and Northwood defenders are really earning the Purple Heart here.
Shot of 20 seconds coming through this, so not much time left of this chukker.
It has flown by, and it has been one-way traffic, but the best opportunity of the half was the one just last minute from Northwood. Could they steal one late in the quarter? That's a great ball in. No!
Just running out of time.
That was the whistle. Can you Adam and Eve it? You see, you wouldn't allow the whistle if this was rugby. You would have had a shot on goal. So no goals in the first quarter. Let's have a look at that again, because that was a real opportunity. Great diving pass in. And who was that on the ball there? Was that Govender?
That's Vishan Govender, yes.
Yeah. And I think it was he who drew the save a couple of minutes before the end of the quarter. So Northwood, having weathered the storm, have done really well to take it to the quarter without a goal conceded. And now they'll have a little bit of input from the coach, Sean Baker. And Sean will be joining me in the commentary box for the next game, which will be the under-14As. You'll be out there umpiring, will you?
No, unfortunately, or fortunately, I've got a friend's wedding to head to, so I'll be heading up to the Midlands straight after this game.
Ah, lovely. Where's the wedding?
It's in Nottingham.
Nottingham Road?
Correct.
Venue? Bellwood?
I think that's the one.
Lovely place.
So it should be fun.
Lovely place. Well, it seems that the Midlands has got it cornered for weddings. And even in these days of social distancing, people are heading up there. Perfect day to get married in the Midlands. We don't get many of them. So that is the score as we come towards the end of the first quarter break.
I think something to look forward to or watch as the match progresses is the little midfield battle between Brent van der Linde of Northwood and Campbell Duckworth of Kearsney. I think both talismanic players on the team and could affect the game. So it'll be interesting to watch those two go head to head.
In the event that we get any provincial hockey being played, would those two guys be in contention?
I was actually at the under-18 provincial trials yesterday, and they were both pretty active in the trial, so I would be surprised if both of them aren't involved in some way.
That's lovely. Lovely to hear, and lovely to see how much school sport is being played now that we're allowed to. And I just see on social media how excited people are, how desperate the parents are to be allowed in, and unfortunately it's not going to happen in the short term. The news seems to be that we're about to enter a third wave. Let us hope that that doesn't close down school sport, but at least hopefully if you're a parent and you're watching now, you're getting a little bit of a flavour what it's like here. You're probably missing the smell of the braais. Here's Mhlungu. That's well done from him. He looks to be a real talent, the captain of Kearsney. Puts the early ball down to Kelly, and he continues the run straight away. They try to get it into a scoring position. Just a little bit quiet out there.
Almost like a game of chess at the moment. Both teams not wanting to give too much away, but obviously trying to find a little loophole to find their way into the circle and hopefully get that first goal.
There's the long ball, and it's beautifully controlled there by Kai Hickett. He's dispossessed, though. It's taken up by Mitchell Jagger. Jagger gets it inside the D, pulls the trigger and misses.
Great defending from the Kearsney defender.
That'll be a long corner, though, and it'll be van der Linde to take it. Man standing in space is Adam Chislett. Chislett bringing it forward, and there's nobody there. That's well blocked, but can't manage to keep it in play. Well, certainly signs in the last 3 minutes of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter that Northwood have weathered the storm to an extent and are starting to push people forward and create chances of their own. Kearsney doing the basics very well. See how quickly they took the ball from coast to coast there. This is de Kock on the ball.
It's really good to see the quality of schoolboy hockey and how much it's changed over the years. Almost playing like young men at the moment.
Taken from the wrong spot. Yes, I would agree with that. I really enjoyed last week's game between the Firsts and Hilton. Hilton look a quality side, but Northwood also did a lot of really good things.
At this level, it's the small things that make a big difference. So little errors or little moments of brilliance end up deciding the fate of a game.
Looking for the second penalty corner. It doesn't come. Van der Linde comes away with the ball and gets it back. He's dispossessed, though, and that's danger. That little wall pass, not a bad idea, but couldn't quite complete it. That's Govender on the ball, and that's one to run onto. McNally picks it up. Good play from him. Just looking for a foot and perhaps should have done a little bit better there. Mhlungu can't control it. There's the early pass, and unfortunately that doesn't stay on the end of the stick. And now quick transfer of the ball. Here's Mhlungu. And great defense coming back there. Picked up now by Josh Cottrell. This is end-to-end stuff now. McNally picking it up down the right-hand side. Gets it back inside to Cottrell. It's a great ball in and really well defended by Kelly. By Mashaba, I should say. And Mhlungu gets the pass in front of the charging de Kock. De Kock has a chance to draw the keeper. Great save with the stick. And Northwood get it away. That's brilliant work. And we should say Toby Dwyer take a bow.
Yeah, he had a great start to the game against Hilton, and same thing this time.
Just a really good run there from de Kock. And I'm sure that Jacques Menard, the number 9 for Kearsney, thought that had to be a goal. Brilliant from Toby Dwyer. Yeah, you mentioned last week, I seem to recall he had something like 10 saves in the first quarter.
Now, Northwood are very lucky to have an abundance of good keepers in the various age groups, but Toby being the king point at the moment, making that number 1 position his own.
This is Bryce Wiggett sending it wide. And that was Mashaba inside the D, trying to cause a little bit of havoc. So still no score in this game, but we've had enough goal-mouth action for it to be about 3-3. Wiggett sending it wide again. Ball bouncing around dangerously. There's the reverse stick, but the umpire would have overruled it anyway.
signaling that it hit the back of the striker's stick.
So Northwood starting to push a little bit higher generally, but still under pressure at the back. Glorious day on the East Coast. Can see the Indian Ocean in the background. That is blue, blue, blue. Wiggett carrying it out of defence for Kearsney. A long ball, De Kock got a stick on it, and then that was well played by Mashaba. Gets the pass back, and that's gone wide. I think that was an Mshlungu who had the last touch. Free hit out for Northwood.
I think Northwood need to be aware of that overlapping right-hand side and the far post tap-in. They've got away with 2 potentially good chances to score. Not sure how many more opportunities Kearsney are going to miss in that area of the field.
So trying to string a few passes together at the back, and then the long ball up front. Yeah, that's come off the shin. So turnover of possession. There's a bit of heat on that pass. Wiggett dummying the long ball. Kearsney pushing it back through Dean Gibbs. Out wide here is Dylan Wiggett. So have we got twins here, Bryce and Dylan?
I'm not too sure if they're twins. Looking at them, I think they're brothers, but I don't know if they're twins or not.
We'll put our spies out and try and find out.
The boy that just caught the ball on the side of the field, Calvin Davies, he's one of Kearsney's top players. Unfortunately, currently out with an injury to the shoulder, I believe. So I'm sure his team will be missing him pretty sorely.
Must be awful after missing so much school sport to then get injured. Carrying the ball forward is Kele. Picked up then by Shark Minar, and he's blocked. And Toby Dwyer in goal for Northwood gives the full round of applause for that bit of defence. And I must say the back 3 or 4 of Northwood are really doing some great work. Carried forward there by Tim Gladler. So the Wiggett brothers exchanging passes there. Carried forward by Bryce Wiggett. Here's Mshlungu. Seems to be a very aware player, very clever. Be long corner this for Kearsney. Got just over 5 minutes left in this first half. Kelly on the ball for Kearsney. He gets it back to Dylan Wiggett. That's a great pass. Opening things up. Great early ball in as well, and well blocked. Another long corner. Wiggett. Gladler was dispossessed, but he'll get another go. Sends it wide, and it's picked up there by Kelly. Wiggett's looking for a little deflection there, and still chances. That's a great save from the shot from Mashaba. Swept away. Wiggett picks it up, gives it to brother Bryce, and now it's back to Dylan. Well, you get the feeling that Kearsney put everything into that. They could be vulnerable at the other end. As it's taken forward by Mitchell Jagger. He's got a couple of runners. One of them is Van der Linde. Here he is! Oh, couldn't quite manage. But it looks like we've got a card coming here. And it is a yellow card. And it's gone against Van der Linde, I think.
Yeah, I believe the rule is if you go off your feet and you take out a player, whether on purpose or not, it is a 10-minute yellow. So Northwood down a man for the next 10 minutes.
Dear. And it's their captain as well. Let's have a look at it. Is that a little bit harsh?
Could be harsh, but I think according to the letter of the law, it's to try and protect players. So understandable why umpire Richard Pentecost decided that was a yellow.
So Kearsney with the extra man now, either side of half time. Let's see whether they can parlay that into a score. No score yet, and we've got just over 3 minutes remaining in the half. No score, but as I mentioned, on another day, this could have been a real goal-scoring feast. Nice work. Who's that? Bringing the ball out of defense.
Luciano Gomes.
Luciano Gomes. And he picks it up again, showing good touches there. He'll have the free hit for the interference. Gets the ball quickly away, but as quickly it is intercepted. Picked up by Mashaba. The same Mashaba, the number 7. He looks like a firecracker of a player.
Yeah, definitely a workhorse in their front runners, so one to look out for.
So Northwood trying to just string some passes together, use up a little bit of time.
Josh Cottrell just drawing the tackle, giving his team a little bit of a breather and a little bit of territory.
So important when you're a man down, particularly as influential a player as Van der Linde, to just try and stop the opposition. All about hanging on to possession. That's what Northwood are doing well at the moment. It's easily turned over. Here's Mhlungu in the middle. He gets it forward quickly. It's picked up there by Minar, and that's going to be blown. He's a bit disappointed with himself there, is Jacques Minar. Yeah, that's an interesting ball up front. Govender picks it up for Northwood. The early release from Govender, but it is well defended and given away in the centre of the park. This is starting to open up now. It's picked up by Josh Cottrell.
Starting to be a little bit loose from both teams here, and could be at the detriment of their team because both teams have very, very exciting and lethal strikers.
Josh Cottrell wondering why the whistle came then, because he felt he was getting himself into a position to score. Here's Mhlungu inside the D. He'll be looking for a penalty corner at the very least and doesn't manage to get it. Good exit play. And it's going to go all the way past Zippo Kele. So again, precious seconds winding down. We're inside the last 20 of the first half now. Northwood down to 10 men. Good early ball in. Oh, and it's going to be the penalty corner on the edge of half time. How crucial might that be?
Oh, I mean, from where I'm sitting, let's have a look. Look like a bit of a harsh call.
What has he blown in for? A stick tackle?
I think he's missed the ball there and got contact with the Kearsney stick. So I think having watched that back, probably the right call. So let's see if the injector from Kearsney can get the ball to the top of the circle and if they're able to test the Northwood defense.
And this will almost certainly be the last action of the half. To that extent, the Kearsney keeper has left his goal. He knows that it can't be scored in. I see that the bottle of water is being squirted liberally this time by the injector. Looks like Wiggett is the dummy runner. It comes back wide. And they're going to call for a second penalty corner. It's not going to come. And that is half-time. So Northwood, to an extent, will be the happier side at half-time. I fancy that they've been under the gun for most of that first half, but they've created a lot of decent opportunities themselves, and their back four and goalkeeper in particular have really been stars.
Yeah, I think out of the two teams, Northwood are probably happy or happiest going in 0-0 at half-time, especially considering they were a man down for 5 minutes of that last chukker.
So it's half-time, and the players are taking on a little bit of liquid. We're going to do the same. We'll be back in about 5.
This is where it all started for me, in Hammersdale, a village just outside Durban. I wouldn't think much of sports. I happened to play netball by chance. There were 13 of them on the netball courts. They needed one player to fill in. I can remember one of them saying to the coach, ask her to fill in. From there, I had to borrow the shoes. The shoes were even bigger than my feet. Pulled through that day. From there, it rolled on to being called to a national side.
Bongium Zomi gets it into the shooter's hands.
I want to see more girls playing the sports. We need to find a way where we give them exposure. There's exciting stuff coming along. I think it's going to create a whole lot more vibe, and I have to be part of that. Because believe me, one day, the shoes will fit and the lights will find you.
Arguably one of the most deadly players on court right now.
So half-time chats continue here at Northwood School on the north coast of Durban, and let's have a look at a few of the highlights of the first half. And although Northwood were really stretched at the back, they got a couple of very good chances in of their own at the other end. But it was Kearsney who got the ball into the danger area more often than not. That was a great run from de Kock, and that was probably the best chance at either end. Really good save by Toby Dwyer. And a good kick away there from Dwyer as well.
Yeah, I think both teams are probably a little bit disappointed that they haven't managed to put a goal onto the score sheet just yet, but equally as happy that both are sitting with a clean sheet currently.
Well, just thinking about the old boys of the two schools, Northwood's most famous old boy, I suppose, would be Sean Pollock, the great Sean Pollock, who's actually speaking to one of my hockey groups next week, somewhere in Durban. Good luck, Paul. Kishap Maharaj was here, of course, and two young men that I commentated on before I left England, Robin Smith and Chris Smith. who both played for England at cricket, and Robin Smith was a serious player. Chris Smith was good opener, played a long career, but Robin Smith was a proper player. Many people thought he was going to really kick on and be one of the greats. Perhaps that didn't happen. And then as for Kearsney, I was chatting again with one of my hockey groups, and their first hockey springbok was a fella called Johnny Lowe. Did you know Johnny Lowe?
I do not know Johnny.
So Johnny Lowe played for the national side between 1964 and 1972, and he was first hockey springbok to come out of Kearsney. But while he was at Kearsney, they didn't play hockey. So he played 3 other sports at first team level. But in those days, you got into the national side through your club rather than through your school or your province.
I'm sure Kearsney will still be claiming him as a representative.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's on the website. Wayne and Lloyd Madsen, of course, also went to Kearsney. Justin King, I remember Justin very well. And a gentleman who's in the national side right now, Billy Ntuli. What a good player Billy Ntuli is.
Yeah, very exciting striker, and has grown from strength to strength and is now a key player in the national team.
Yeah, it's been actually fabulous to see Billy grow as a player. And a great shame that lockdown came when it did for him. Now here are Kearsney going forward through Campbell Duckworth. Good early ball from him to Matthew Ford, and Ford is dispossessed on the edge. The hit will go the way of Kearsney. It's taken quickly by them. This is Minar getting inside the D, looking for a foot and finding it, and that will be penalty corner number 3, coming right at the beginning of the second half. Remember that Northwood are still down to 10 players with their captain Van der Linde in the sin bin with a yellow card.
Yeah, Kearsney shooting out of the blocks there after the half-time chat. Definitely a noticeable increase in their intensity. Oh, I see there's another card there for Josh Cottrell.
Well, he must have had something to say. That's the only thing I can think.
I think you are correct.
So who's the umpire laying down the law there?
That is Richard Pentecost.
Richard Pentecost.
Who is also a Kearsney old boy, but I do not think that would have any effect on the decisions he makes in this game. A very good umpire.
So penalty corner number 3 for Kearsney. Can they complete this time? There's the drag flick, and really good save again from Dwyer. It was Duckworth with the shot at goal. Now there's space for Mslungu, and it's been whipped away. That looked as if it had to go in.
Umpire Pentecost deciding that was going wide, hence the Northwood are getting the free hit out. And while that play was progressing, I noticed Brent van Linde is back on the field. So
must have been a 10-minute, rather than a 10-minute, must have been a 5-minute yellow card. Right, thank you for that, Ross. And let's have a look again.
Very hard to judge from this angle. Maybe this one will help.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't going into the goal, which would have changed the umpire's decision. Here is Van der Linde on the ball for Northwood, quickly getting the pass away, but a little bit too far in front of the runner. So lots of action at the beginning of this second half. No scores as yet. Second team game finished in a 1-1 draw. And the next game on your screen will be the under 14As. So
just to correct you there, Andy, sorry, that was the under 16As who played the first game.
I beg your pardon.
So under 16As, and I think the seconds will be playing at some point a little later on.
Yep. That's a good early ball for Minar. And good defence. Yes, this fella Jacques Minard down the right-hand side seems to be a good one for Kearsney. Picking up the ball now is Kai Hilkert. And the man diving on the far post there was Josh Lee. More good defence. Northwood trying to slow things down. They still, of course, are down to 10 players, even though Van der Linde is back with Josh Cottrell having been sent to the bin for a bit of back chat.
I think that's going to be something that may cost Northwood in the long run if they continually get players sent off. So got to tighten up on their discipline and keep all their players on the field.
Great play there, and gets the pass into the danger area. And good defence from Kearsney, passing out in front of the flying Campbell Duckworth. And Duckworth will have to retreat.
Some really good little battles going on around the field.
Here's Van der Linde on the ball for Northwood, taking it inside the quarter, looking to square the ball across the D. It's going to be a long corner. So now Northwood pile players forward, perhaps spotting an opportunity. Looking for a foot inside the D, doesn't happen. He's got the free hit.
See, Northwood are back to their full capacity. Both teams with 10 men on the field.
Oh, so close there. Who was that on the far post? Chasing back. That's the player making the tackle, but carried on by Campbell Duckworth. Duckworth on the ball, waiting for a runner. Oh, a lovely defence. That time from Tanner Capel. Oh, that'll be picked off by Mhlungu. This is danger. And Mhlungu sends it wide, and it's taken there by Josh Lee. He's got the ball inside the D. They're all calling for it, and there it is. Penalty corner number 4. Must have been a foot involved.
It'll be interesting to watch that back on the replay. I see one or two of the Northwood defenders a little bit shocked by that decision. So sometimes it snicks their foot without them knowing. But let's have a look.
Yeah, you saw the reaction as soon as the whistle went. Obviously they felt that there was no foot involved, but it is the umpire who carries the day. So the injector will be Kai Hilkert.
Again, putting a little bit of water down, make sure the injection gets to the top of the circle. There's no ball.
Ah, I was wondering what was going on. So crowded around the top of the D.
So the pusher is being sent to the halfway line for taking too long. So unfortunately, as the pusher,
I'm glad I've got you alongside me, Ross. So they'll have to bring in a new injector. Now watch out here for Bryce Wiggett, number 5, and Campbell Duckworth, number 10. It is De Kock actually on the ball, and easily cleared. So 4 penalty corners for Kearsney, and to some extent they've messed up all 4 of them. Might seem a little bit harsh.
Yeah, definitely not making the most of the opportunities they're getting in the PC attack.
Chance at the other end for Northwood, but they've given the ball away on the edge of the D. They'll have another opportunity here.
I think this game deserves a goal. Both teams earning the right to be 1-0 up. I think we just need one to go in, and I'm sure the intensity in the game might change.
Yeah, you might actually see one of those games where when the first one goes in, they'll all go in.
Yeah, which I'm sure spectators from the various schools would be hoping is the case for their school.
Well, I hope you're enjoying our footage from Northwood High School. Remember that we've got more school sports for you through the week. I shall be at Michael House on Wednesday for Michael House against Glenwood. Really looking forward to that one. It's a home game for me.
That should be another very interesting game. Most of the KZN schools have some very good hockey players, so I'm sure every weekend, every fixture will be a nice, closely contested fixture.
Yeah, in fact, that Super Schools tournament that you had in April, I see the number of drawn games that there were there, really showing how evenly matched so many teams are.
Yeah, and I think COVID last year was very much an equalizer. A couple of schools who maybe in the past were a little bit ahead of others, teams that were off and not playing games were able to work a bit on things that maybe they weren't too good at. And
that's a great run. That's the first penalty corner in the match for Northwood.
Well worked from Josh Cottrell on the right-hand baseline. Let's see if they can test Cade Peens in goal.
So the masks are going on. The injector will be that man, Josh Cottrell, I think. No, he's going to be in the castle. And Van der Linde will be the injector. And then at the top of the D, we've got Adam Chislett wearing number 8. Is he the drag flick man?
He is, and looking at the personnel, I would say straight flick from Adam Chislett, otherwise a sneaky slip flick to Josh Cottrell is also on the cards.
There's another error. The ball didn't leave the D. Good save. I wonder whether it's something about that little area.
Yeah, it must be an area that potentially dries pretty quickly. I see, looking at the layout of the land, there's a little bit of a gap on the outside of the field, which I imagine wind is going through and potentially drying that area of the field up a lot quicker than everywhere else.
So disappointment for Northwood with their first penalty corner. And now coming forward. Go Kearsney, well cut out. At the back is Bryce Wiggett, linking up with Dean Gibbs. Good ball in field from Gibbs, picked up by Hilkert. And great little intercept there from Josh Cottrell, who's having a really good game for Northwood.
Yeah, I think both teams will be a little bit disappointed that they're unable to convert the amount of PCs that they're getting into some at least chances.
That is going to be penalty corner number 2. Stick tackle?
Definitely sounded like it, which I imagine means it was probably the correct call. I see one of the Northwood boys carrying a big bucket of water towards the push-out spot.
Aha. The famous bucket of water. Remember that Supersport advert with the kicker who had to hold a bucket of water in order to keep his head down? That's a much better inject, looking for the drag flick and no real power on it, but Van der Linde gets it back towards the goal and nobody there to get it over the line. Really good chance there. And now Kearsney come away with the ball, but that's super defence. And Northwood, the longer this game goes on, the more you fancy that Northwood might just pinch one. Oh, it's gone over the baseline. Here's that drag flick. Oh, it actually deflected, didn't it? Oh. Van der Linde did great work there to get it back into traffic.
And very good defending off the baseline from the Kearsney player.
Here's Mashaba, all on his own. And that was a real opportunity for Kearsney, and they let it slip. Mashaba got the ball and there was one player between him and the goal. Strong play from Mitchell Jagger, and then pushes the ball straight off the park, giving Kearsney possession. Here's de Kock. Good ball to Mashaba. Looking for, yeah, he's got it. That is penalty corner number 5. The little reverse flick from Campbell Duckworth, finding the foot of the defender. And that will be another opportunity for Kearsney to break the goal drought.
I almost feel like the team that makes the most of their opportunities and PCs potentially could be the team that takes the win today. Both teams up until this point not making the most and unfortunately not converting their opportunities.
So Kai Hilkett is going down to inject, and at the top of the castle we've got Daniel de Kock and Campbell Duckworth, 8 and 10. And the stopper is Jacques Menard, wearing number 9. There's the variation, and van der Linde coming away with the ball, just picking it off the stick. Beautifully done. And now defence turning into attack. Northwood have got runners everywhere. Govender is making a good run. Here's van der Linde. Comes off the defender's stick, but it's still Northwood ball. Not now. That's great work there from Duckworth. Duckworth coming away at pace. He's got Mashaba with him. There he is. Mashaba, he's all on his own though, and that is turnover of possession.
He ran out of time.
It's yeah, there it is. It is the end of the quarter, and there's another quarter that's flown by, Ross.
Yeah, very exciting end-to-end hockey.
It's a good game of hockey, and although it's 0-0, you know, it could easily be 3 each.
Very much so. I think a big emphasis from both coaches in this little chat for the next 2 minutes will be making the most of the opportunities they're getting, because they are getting in the right areas and they're threatening the D, but just nothing to show for it just yet.
So the temperature starting to ratchet up, and they'll certainly feel it. I'm sure those gentlemen are feeling it. Must be a fisherman, the way he's moving his arms around.
He was a lethal striker back in the day at schoolboy level, and currently plays defender for Crusaders. So with age he's moved back a few lines. But hits the ball like a machine.
Well, Mike Cullen was up here earlier commentating on the early game, and I remember Mike playing alongside our greatest ever striker, Greg Nicol. And I'll tell you a story. I was in New Zealand in 2011 for the Rugby World Cup. The final, France against New Zealand, went the wrong way, 8-7. And there's a pizza place next to Eden Park in Auckland. And I was in there having a few beers, and this chap came up to me and said, "Gappy, what are you doing here?" And it was Greg Nicol, who had relocated to New Zealand, and there we were in a pizza parlour next to Eden Park talking about the good old days, Atlanta Olympics of 1996.
Yeah, it's lovely to see how many people, familiar faces you see when you travel overseas. Always good to run into a fellow South African.
Talking of overseas, we're thinking of the people across the Indian Ocean now who are going through some really tough times. Not far from the Aliwal Shoal. And we're ready for the fourth and final quarter. This is the two first teams playing. The under-16As fought out a 1-1 draw, and the next game up will be the under-14As. Not a day that you would envy a goalkeeper. Not that any day is in my opinion, but to have all of that gear on in 30 degrees, as it probably is now.
I think it takes a special type of character to be willing to stand in that kit day in, day out and
then get blamed for letting a goal in. Yeah.
And have hundreds of balls hit at you at training.
So Northwood trying to get the ball out of the danger area. Oh, and that's beautifully done. Van der Linde showing the soft skills, and he will get the free hit. Quickly on his feet, gets the ball out to Cottrell. Cottrell's got a runner down this left-hand side, and possession will turn over. So 4 chuckers in this game. I think the under 14As play just one half.
Yes, they play 2 halves. They're the only age group who still play halves. The rest of the age groups have moved on to chuckers.
This is Jacques Menard for Kearsney. Good cross coming in from him, and that will be penalty corner number 6 for Kearsney. It really is ratcheting up.
I think I alluded to it a little bit earlier. Calvin Davies, who is quite a threat from the top of the circle, unfortunately out injured, so it's up to the other boys to see if they can make something happen.
So again, the injector is Kai Hilkert. Watch out for number 8 Daniel de Kock and number 10 Campbell Duckworth. Just a little bit of a bobble there, and the goal is scored. That is a beautiful strike from de Kock, and finally we have a goal.
And there's that straight poke I was mentioning earlier. Definitely a threat from the top of the circle for Kearsney. Northwood have it all to play for now. Got to make sure they get themselves back into this game.
Let's have a look at it again.
Good trap on the bouncing ball.
Keeper's distraught, isn't he? And now Kearsney from the restart looking as if they might get a second one here. Mhlungu has himself tackled, and that is going to be penalty corner number 7. This could be the game right here. Kearsney have finally broken the deadlock. Umpires I think unhappy about something. He's going to go and consult with the other umpire.
Just while they chat, there's that noticeable change in intensity. As soon as a goal goes in, both teams all of a sudden getting a bit loud, running a little bit quicker, pushing a little bit harder. So it's definitely something I think this game needed, was a goal.
And it's been turned over. Okay, so a little bit of chat between the umpires, and that will no longer be a penalty corner. So Northwood will certainly be wiping their brows over that. Here's van der Linde winning it back for the home side. It's getting quite physical. The 2 captains up against each other there, Mhlungu and van der Linde. Van der Linde is a little distraught that he didn't get the blow. Must be a bit wary around the umpires when he shows dissent like that. Here's Duckworth.
You don't want to give him too much time and space in the field. He can be very creative.
That's a good early ball and very well cut out by Bryce Wiggett. He saw the danger. Now gets it up to Gladler. Gladler's pass to Mashaba. It's getting quite physical out there. And Northwood will have the ball. So Northwood trailing by a goal to 0. We've got just over 10 minutes remaining in the game. Cottrell dispossessed by Duckworth, but Northwood will have the free hit. He's done really well to keep that ball in play, and now eventually it is out from the stick of Mitchell Jagger. It was looking dangerous for a moment.
Here's that penalty corner again. Very good trap on the bouncing ball.
Yeah, it's gone through the legs of the keeper, hasn't it?
Can't imagine the keeper looking back at that will be too happy with conceding through his legs.
Well, because he's done everything right, hasn't he? He's got himself in the right line, and the only thing he hasn't done is keep his knees together. And I don't want to hear all the jokes, okay? Now, turnover ball on the halfway line. Van der Linde bringing it forward for Northwood. He's dispossessed from behind. That might be a card against Mashaba. Yeah, it is. dangerous tackle from behind.
Kearsney down to 10 men.
And unfortunately, Northwood have just passed the ball straight to Campbell Duckworth. He gets it wide to
Tim Gladler.
Gladler trying to pull the trigger. Oh, stick tackle again, I think, and that will be penalty corner number 7.
And they can also run down a couple seconds with for the card, which they just received.
There it is.
Yeah, just a missed time tackle from Adam Chislett on Tim Gladler.
So that's Toby Dwyer in goal, wearing the number 22.
I wonder if they'll go with the straight poke again. I see Daniel de Kock is still on the field.
Yep, Duckworth wearing 10 in the centre of the castle, and this time it is Duckworth who gets the shot away. Didn't really time it very well, and so Van der Linde bringing it away. He's dispossessed. There's the shot. Great save from Dwyer. That was on target, and it's going to be a re-award.
Looked like it came off the back of the stick of Brent van Linde. An unlucky one, but Northwood will have to put in another big shift in defense here to keep the Kearsney at bay.
Still down to 10 men are Kearsney, and it is they who lead by a goal to 0, and we're halfway through the final quarter. There's the shot from de Kock and the goal. It's 2-0, and that is probably, oh, it's not been given.
Yeah, so the rule in a penalty corner, if it's a straight hit or a straight slap, the first shot has to be hitting the backboard.
Okay.
So that one going straight into the net, meaning it was a free hit out for Northwood.
Thank you. So Kearsney coming forward. They have the free hit. There's space out wide here.
Also believe they're back to full 11 again.
Yeah, I think you're right. The sin bin is unoccupied. Long ball to Minar. He gets it back with the free hit. Minar. That's going to be a penalty corner. And in fact, the goal has been scored because the whistle didn't go. The umpire was playing advantage, and the goal has been scored. And I think it's that man, Kai Hickett, who's got it.
Yeah, he seemed to be the only player on the field who continued to play and ended up rewarding himself with a goal.
Somebody's in trouble. There's going to be a chat between umpire and players.
It's just off the screen for what you guys can see, but umpire Richard Pentecost speaking to 3 of the Kearsney players.
Yeah, and then captain of Northwood comes across for a word as well. Be that as it may, we can show you the goal now. Yeah, nothing that the keeper could do about that one, and it's came with just over 5 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, it was a great finish, identifying where the space was and just popping it past the goalkeeper's shoulder.
And I have to say, in the commentary box, I did exactly what the Northwood defence was. I stopped when I saw the arms go out, but the whistle hadn't gone. So advantage was being played, and Kearsney took full advantage of the advantage.
Imagine Coach Sean Baker will be very frustrated conceding a goal like that, because that's one thing all coaches tell their players is play to the whistle, and it's religiously said at trainings and games. So to concede a goal because of it is very frustrating.
Now here's de Kock. Looking for a runner. So we've got just over 4 minutes remaining in the game, and Kearsney have probably got it wrapped up at 2-0, but you should never count your chickens. Here's van der Linde in midfield. He's worked so hard. And dispossessed by Mslungu. The sticks have gone flying. That's going to be a card. Yeah, it's a yellow card for Mslungu, so he'll take no further part in the game. That's the captain of Kearsney gone.
I also think it's worth noticing Sean Baker making a tactical change to take his keeper off to allow for 2 extra outfield players. So let's see if Northwood can make the overlap count.
Yeah, remember the new rule is that you don't have a designated kick defender. Everybody can defend.
That's correct. I mean, the rule used to be that there was one player with goalkeeper privileges, which meant in the circle it could hit his foot and the team could carry on playing. And like you say, at the moment the rule has changed to no kicking back, so any foot in the D from the defensive player will be a PC.
So Northwood running out of time. They've got the extra outfield player.
At the moment it's 2 extra outfield players because I see Menzi and Mslungu sitting on the bench.
Yep.
Or on the sin bin rather.
And this is Gladler.
Very good skill on the sideline.
So that is the keeper leaving the field just a while ago. He's had a pretty good day as Toby Dwyer, but he'll be distraught about letting in the first goal at the penalty corner. Kearsney fighting forward through Matthew Ford. This is Hilkett, the scorer of the second goal.
I think Kearsney will be trying to run down the clock here or enter the circle to get pretty much an open goal tap-in.
And that's going to be a penalty corner. So I'm guessing keeper will come back on for that, will he?
Unfortunately, he's not
allowed
allowed back on. So
not allowed.
Northwood will have to defend this one without a goalkeeper.
Well, with 90 seconds left, it's not going to make a difference to the result, whatever happens, I think.
I imagine Campbell Duckworth, looking at the personnel, the only flicker at the top will be the one who... Ooh, umpire, okay, never mind. Yeah, I would imagine he would be trying to flick the ball into the net, hoping that none of the Northwood boys are able to hit him out.
So we're in the last minute. 2-0 to Kearsney. Can they make it 3? There's the shot. Oh, well defended off the line. I think that was Cottrell's stick. So Northwood will have another opportunity. Let's have a look at that replay.
Great save.
Nice little square cut. Now here's Govender. No, there was an arm involved. And Kearsney, who will finish the game with just 10 men on the field, quite happy to play the game in the opposition territory. Here's van der Linde bringing it forward for Northwood. Can they get a consolation goal? It's gone in front of Govender. It's picked off by Duckworth, who's had a super game for Kearsney. Here he is, just trying to wind the clock down. Great stick skills from him. And then he goes flying. Now by IR reckoning, the final whistle should just be seconds away. So these two sides met in Super Schools back in April. It finished in a 2-2 draw. this time it's 2-0. It could be 3-0 here. There is no keeper, and the goal is scored. And I think that's de Kock who's got it. And it seemed inevitable once the ball got inside the D. That should be the last action of the match. Daniel de Kock getting his second goal.
Oh,
There is time
quick break
to restart the game. Picked off there by Mitchell Jagger. Jagger looking for a runner. Finding Tanner Capel. Reverse stick has gone wide.
Oh, stroke.
Oh, penalty stroke has been given. That's dangerous defending, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was just the mistimed tackle. And defender looked like he hit the foot of the attacker.
Looks like two umpires are just going to have a chat about this. Yeah, no change, so Cottrell will take the penalty flick for Northwood. And what a great save from Cade Pearns. He picked his spot, didn't he? Top right-hand corner, and Pearns was too good. And there goes the final whistle. So disappointment for Northwood, missing a penalty flick at the end. It wouldn't have made any difference to the outcome of the game. And let's have a look at it one more time. It's come off the upright, not the glove. But as I say, it hasn't made a difference to the result. So 2 goals from number 8 Daniel de Kock and 1 from number 6 Kai Hilkert, separating these sides. It was 0-0 after 3/4 of the match, and it could have been 3-3 at that stage. Kearsney have scored 3 in the last quarter, and I think on the balance they're good winners.
Yeah, and I think on another day, having watched the game again, Northwood could have walked away with a win, and we mentioned it when it was still 0-0. The team that scores first will probably be the one to get a few more and walk away victors.
So thanks for your time, Ross, and we'll just wind down here as I see as one team leaves, the under 14 A's arrive, and you've got a wedding to get to.